This is the High School Football America podcast for February the 28th, 2024. I'm Jeff Fisher. The High School Football America podcast is brought to you by GameStrat, America's premier sideline instant replay system with outstanding reliability, faster speed than Huddle's sideline. And here's the one all the coaches who have made the switch have told me is the best part. GameStrat has awesome customer service. They pick up the phone when you call. I'm not going to go into why that's a big deal, but coaches, you know what I'm talking about. And GameStrat has different plans priced right for every coach's budget. And a couple of more days, early bird special, get some discount pricing. But if it goes by and you forget to do it, don't forget, mention High School Football America to the fine folks at GameStrat, and they'll give you a High School Football America friends and family discount. To get a demo, go to GameStrat.com, or you can click on the GameStrat banner ad located on every page of HighSchoolFootballAmerica.com. All right, championship chat on the High School Football America podcast heads to Greenville, South Carolina. Championship time in 1A, back-to-back for Christ Church Episcopal, and head coach Quin Hatfield is on the line to talk about what's been a couple of fun years, I would think. You know, when you finish with the W, and you're the only one in the class that does that, coach, it puts a smile on your face. You still smiling? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we're still smiling. However, we're back grinding, man, and getting ready for this next season and hopefully another run.
Yeah, well, with all of these, I take different approaches at the beginning, but because we are a national website, and sometimes as we do this championship chat, we're drilling it down to the smaller schools, which I love because y'all need as much publicity as the teams in our top 300. Give a little snapshot of Christ Church in Greenville and how high school football fits into the fabric of the school for me.
Yeah, well, Christ Church Episcopal School, we go all the way K through 12th grade. Got 1,160 students in the whole school. It's really a tight-knit community here within the school. It's really cool to have, all, lower school, middle school, upper school, and just that whole community comes together on Friday nights. It's an awesome environment. If you come out to Carson Stadium and to get a feel of it. But, we're in the Greenville, South Carolina area, and Greenville's been growing, and we're in South Carolina, and football's important in this state, and it's important at this school. There's a rich tradition here at Christ Church of the culture we have, the brotherhood, and certainly winning. We won 7 state championships, throughout the years of Christ Church football.
And back-to-back over the last 2 years, Quin Hatfield is on the line. He is the head coach at Christ Church. And Coach, one of the things I noticed about you as I was doing a little bit of research here before this interview is you spent a lot of time outside of high school football, but not outside of the sport itself. I saw a lot of youth coaching in there as I read a little bit about you. Tell me about the jump. Why did you make the switch? Why did you say now's the time to go to the scholastic level at the high school level?
Yeah, unconventional path, right? Like you said, I played football all my life, played college football, and it's been a big part of who I am. Always wanted to give back to the game, so got in coaching out of college. Wasn't my livelihood. Did it on the side, had some flexibility in the job. I worked for a company in corporate America for 20 years and did a lot of different things with that company, but always had the opportunity to coach on the side. I started at the high school level as an assistant coach down at Spring Valley High School in Columbia and at Hammond School. And then from there we moved around, and then it wasn't as much at the high school levels, more at the lower levels, just, whether it was helping build a youth program or even coaching my son at different times to stay involved with the game. And you asked me, what led to the move. Really, I wasn't planning this move. I'm a man of faith, and our plan and our timeline didn't always match up with God's timeline. And so I was here at Christ Church Episcopal, started our youth program here. My son already playing middle school ball, and there was a need and an opportunity to do that. And after that first year, our athletics director came to me and said they're making a change in the program, and said, we think you're the man for the job. And, I was pretty blown away at that point in time. And said, hold on, I'm at a big crossroads here. Stay in corporate America. The company's been really good to me, 20 years, or make this jump into coaching full time. And and it took a leap of faith and jumped in, and that was in February 2020. Of course, COVID hit a month later, and that's a whole nother story. But just wrapped up our 4th year, and it's been a blessing. We've got great players here, great coaches, a great community, and it's just one of those things. I thought I would do this later on when I retired, maybe in my late 50s, move down to the beach and coach football. But like I said, our timing and God's timing doesn't always match up, but it's been a great blessing.
Well, they say God works in mysterious ways. I don't believe in that. I think he works in the way that he's supposed to, right? He told you it was time to get that whistle around your neck and go at it. So
yeah, and you don't want to live life with any regrets, right? And you're exactly right. When you feel that nudge, we all feel it to do different things. And, I could have said, hey, no, I appreciate the opportunity. I'll stay involved kind of on the side, but just don't want to have any regrets. Life is short in the big scheme of things, and like I said, we jumped in, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, well, like I said, back to back, not a bad thing. 2 out of the 4 years there. Quin Hatfield is on the line. Christ Church in Greenville, South Carolina, not too far from where we are here in Atlanta. 2.5 hours, I guess, to drive. Love it up in that area there, Coach. Let's get into promoting, some of the staff, some of the kids, and you said there's a great tradition there. I think you said 7 state titles. I'm sure you've got some guys that have been on the staff there a little bit with you. Talk about the guys that made you look good, right? HCs get to do the interviews; they get all the glory and the crap. But
yeah, that's right.
Let's talk about that staff, how you put it together, and some of the guys that have helped you out and gotten you to the level you've been at.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to call our staff because you're exactly right. I mean, these are the guys that, they're heavily involved in the game planning and coaching the guys up. We've got a great staff. I'll start with our defensive coordinator. He's a guy named John Wyndham, and Coach Wyndham came to Christ Church a year before I got here and stayed on when I took the job. And it's been great to have him. He's got a wealth of experience. I mean, he's been a defensive coordinator at Furman at the collegiate level, Gardner Webb. He was a head coach down at Sewanee in college football and had some head coaching experience at the high school level. And he's been our DC, and he's a wizard when it comes to scheming and dialing up the defense, and just does a great job for us. And I can name many of our defensive assistants, but if I did that, I know I'll leave somebody out. I don't want to do that, man.
I feel you.
And offensively, our offensive coordinator is a guy named Todd Cunningham, and I brought Todd on when I got the job. He's a quarterback in the past, and played a little bit of professional ball in the European League for a while, and he coached at the collegiate level for a little while, and then he doesn't do this full time. He runs his own business, but he got a lot of flexibility, and I've known him for a long time. We actually competed against each other in college. He went to Presbyterian College. I was at Newberry. It was a big rivalry, but anyways, we reconnected a few years later after college and stayed friends, and then he was willing to do it when I took the job, and he's done a great job. And our offense has been explosive, and just putting ball in the playmakers' hands. And I will call out a guy that I left out on a previous podcast that I was on talking about the championship run, and that's Larry Frost. And I want to call out Coach Frost because he coaches our quarterbacks, and quarterbacks have been, we all know QBs are important, right? And when you got a good one, it makes that offense go. But he stayed on staff. He was here when Christ Church had 4 state championships in a row in 2011, 2012, 13, and 14. And he was an assistant coach. He's had head coaching experience previously, but he stayed on and worked through some times of transition. And I've just so appreciated that. He's got a lot of experience and great knowledge, and we call him the QB whisperer. He's just got a way of working with those guys and does a phenomenal job for us. And like I said, just want to give him a shout out.
There you go, Larry. You got your name in there. Good job, Coach. I know that feeling. I will say, and I've been doing this 50 years, I think, at this point, professionally. And I've had all kinds of people that go in there and they take a run at it and they forget one, and then they get yelled at and all that. You handled it perfectly. You went with the OC and the DC and said, all the other guys are important. So kudos on communication 101 on that one.
I appreciate it, man.
No problem. It dawned on me when you were kind of talking about that, and it's kind of a weird question probably because we're talking football, but I'm going to try and make it football. So I believe football does a person well in life and in business. And you said that corporate job for 20 years. And I'm just curious how football helped you in that previous, well, it's now your previous life, right? The corporate world. And then what did you learn in the business world when you were there that's helping you with your coaching staff and getting these guys together to do the job of winning state championships?
Yeah, you're spot on. There's so many carryovers, things you learn playing the game of football, and the competitiveness, the toughness, whether it's physical toughness, mental toughness. But I think that probably the teamwork piece, and maybe football more than any other sport, where you got 11 guys on the field, and everybody has to really do their job for a play to go well, or really a game to go well, where some other sports, you can really get one or two guys can take over a game. That doesn't happen in the game of football. Mm-hmm. So I think you learn that teamwork piece, you learn that sacrifice piece that is bigger than me, and, learning that helped me, in the business world. And I think just, what I learned in business, is a lot of the same thing. I was coaching, I was in management, I was in leadership, and building a team and finding the right people and making sure you're leveraging their strengths and you're listening to them, and you understand what's needed to get the job done, and then this strategy and mission and vision and all of those things translate right into to leading a football team and collaborating with your coaches and getting the best out of your players, and all of those things is certainly helped me. And and it's been a lot of fun doing it with the guys that we're doing it here too. Like I said, I didn't call out all of our coaches, but we've got 12 coaches on the staff, and very few of them actually work here at Christ Church. To give back their time, we got guys at Michelin and Verizon, and one guy used to be at Centos and Allstate, and another guy runs his own business, and then they give back, and because they love the game, and they believe in developing young men. And, we've just been really blessed with the group of guys we've had here, and then the players that have, laid the foundation since I've been here of getting back to winning and belief and doing it the right way.
Okay, let's transition into the kids here. But before we get to the kids by name, some of the leaders that helped you get to that, the top of the mountain again this year, the question is youth football versus high school football. What was the biggest adjustment you had to make as a coach to coaching the kids? I mean, kids are kids, right? But is there a difference? Was there a difference? Did you have to change yourself at all?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, there's similarities in how you coach, right? You figure out how kids are wired, how to motivate them, and, create structure and challenge them, discipline, and bring out the best in them. I think the biggest difference is just, in terms of the schemes, obviously more sophisticated at the varsity level, and, the preparation and the film and the game plan. Although I'll tell you, coaching youth football in Georgia, and you're living in Georgia, mm-hmm. I was coaching, fifth graders, and we were exchanging film. You were trying to get more film on guys. We were breaking it down.
It's real down here.
It's real, man. That's what I tell people. They were playing. We played tackle football. I wasn't coaching this young, but kids were running to play tackle football in kindergarten. They were little bobbleheads running around, But that's what it was. So, again, a lot of that helped. But to answer your question, more sophisticated, just more complex and things. And then you're also dealing with, with high school kids as opposed to, younger kids. They got more things they're dealing with academics and relationships and just all of those things that you want to help.
All of the above. Yeah, being teenagers, that's the big difference. Quin Hatfield's on the line. Christ Church Episcopal School in Greenville, South Carolina, doing wonderful things down there. And let's get some of the kids in here. Again, it's kind of like the coaching staff. You'd love to name every kid, but we don't have that hour. So let's get some of the leaders on this team.
Yeah, let's start on defense. They always say, well, what's all saying? Defense wins championships, but offense puts the fans in the stands. So defensively, I'll call out our middle linebacker, guy named Jake Good, and Jake's going to go on and play football at the next level. He's going to Hampton-Sydney, and Here's our leading tackler and tone setter and just a very physical football player. We talk about our identity here in Christchurch football is we play fast and we play physical, and he's one of those guys that, just did that and modeled it day in and day out. Another guy is another one of our linebackers, just graduating, Cooper Ronchek. He's a 3-year starter and all over the field and just a great leader as well. He got our Cavalier award, which is our top player, just what they do on the field and off the field, and consistency and leadership and all of those things. So I call out those two guys on defense, and then on offense. I can't name our entire offensive line. I won't name all of them, but those guys are very seasoned.
Now go ahead and do it. They never get the publicity, Coach. Get them in there.
Get them in there, man. Martin Russo's our center, and like you said, center don't ever get a shout out unless something goes wrong, right? Ball goes flying over the quarterback's head. But he, I think it was 420 or 30 plus snaps all year. Didn't have an errant snap all year.
Nice.
And we're in the shotgun. So, he's a senior. He's one of those guys that, did a great job for us. He had Patrick McMaster and Grant Strohmeyer and Grayson Varnador. And Rhodey Barnett stepped in for us, and I feel like I'm leaving a guy out. Lincoln Weldy, who came back from injuries, he's been a warrior for us. So those guys up front really set the tone. We were a very balanced attack. If you look at our numbers, we were able to run the football and also throw it all over the field, which made our offense really tough to stop. When I'm talking about running the ball, we are running back that – he'll be a Hall of Famer here one day. And Deshaun Reeder, he's going to Northwestern to play football. And, he's a power back. He's explosive. He did a lot for us. And then I'll also call out just two other guys offensively, just numbers-wise. They had tremendous seasons. And one of them's our quarterback. He's a first-year starter, Tucker Hendricks. And there's some question marks coming into the year. And what's the quarterback situation going to look like? And, he competed and won the job and just really got so much better throughout the year. He's a grinder. He watches the extra film. He does the extra work. I mean, he ended up throwing for all kinds of yards and 43 touchdowns and only 9 interceptions, and was really, really strong down the stretch in region play and into our championship run. And then the last guy I'll call out is you talk about a dynamic player. I'd encourage you to go watch some film if you hadn't watched any on this guy. His name's Jackson Rep. He's a slot receiver, 32 touchdowns. Some of those were on special teams and returns, but was over 1,600 yards receiving and almost 2,400 all-purpose. And he's coming back, and so is Tucker Hendricks. So you talk about great things about those guys. I mean, both those dudes are coming back. So I'm excited to see what they can do, how they continue to grow and develop as players, but, just very dynamic player.
I will go watch some film on Jackson, and I guess, Coach, they're going to make you look pretty smart again this year. It sounds like. So let's
they do. That's exactly right, man. They do it.
Let's flip the switch to 2024. I am assuming there's some weights being thrown around and clanging. Tell me a little bit about how you guys run your off season and what you're looking to get accomplished before fall camp.
Yeah, well, one thing you mentioned earlier in this interview was the smaller schools, and we are a smaller school relative to a lot of other schools in Greenville or across the high school football America. We dressed 28 this past season. We dressed 27 the season before on Friday nights, and I say all that leads into your question about the off season. We got a lot of kids playing other sports, and I know other schools do too, but a lot of our guys play lacrosse or basketball, so they're in those sports right now. And our basketball team is playing for the state championship this Saturday, and lacrosse is just getting going. So we have 3 days a week. We have workouts, 2 mornings, 1 afternoon, and we had the highest attendance for morning workouts we've had over the last 4 years. But that said, guys in season are working within their program, so. We're getting after it in those morning sessions, and we'll do some work in March. High school league rules here in South Carolina allow you to do a little bit on the field in March, and then you can really get going in May with pads and spring practice. We're going to have up to, 15 practices and 10 in pads, and we'll get after it there and have a spring game, and then get ready to really grind for the summer starting June 3rd.
You know, you just ticked off a lot of coaches around the country that are clamoring for spring ball and don't get the opportunity to have it. So, I know every one of my friends out there that's saying, "Oh man, South Carolina's got it too."
We got it and try to take advantage of it, right?
Exactly. Positive thing. Quin Hatfield on the line, Christ Church Episcopal in South Carolina. Going to wrap things up here with how you and I got connected. We were talking about a couple of different things, and our interstate games, our master list is up on highschoolfootballamerica.com, and you said, hey, we got a good one. A couple of state champs going at each other. You want to tell the folks about that one? That seems like a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's a fun matchup. We played the Asheville school for the last few years, and I'll just say last year's game was a big time game. They actually coming off a state championship, so they're back-to-back champions, and we are too. So it was two defending state champions going at it last year. We went up to their place early in the season and just back and forth, and we found a way to score late and win the game. Actually blocked an extra point, won 27-26. So I expect the game to be, very competitive, and it's kind of become a great rivalry. They'll come down here this year, and even going to the first game of the year is not an interstate game. We're playing the Hammond School. We've never played them. They're a powerhouse in the independent school league and have won several state championships. So we start the year off with playing Hammond, who won the state championship, playing Asheville School, who won a state championship, and then going against a big, what will be a 5A school here in Greenville. We'll be 3A this year. We've been 1A. That's a whole nother thing. I don't know how much you followed the high school league here in South Carolina. Multiplier's been applied. So, there's a lot of movement in terms of classification. So we're moving up to 3A, and that's going to be interesting and create some new matchups and some new challenges and opportunities. But to your question, interstate against Asheville and early in the season, and should be a fun one.
That sounds well. You keep climbing up there. You're going to have to call Coach Knotts over there at Dutch Fork. Test wits with him.
We got a lot of climbing to do before that happens, and a lot of depth to gain on our roster.
Yeah, I don't know if 28 is ready to go against the Silver Foxes. But anyway, Coach, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to get people educated. And like I said, that's what this whole segment we're doing in the off season is all about, which is, let's get some of the people around the country that hear the big names. Like you can probably even name the big names, right? That's why people can spit out Dutch Fork and all that. But it's the guys that are doing it at the lower levels that are making just as big an impact on young men's lives and young women's lives at this point in time. So, Coach, thanks for taking the time, and good luck in 24.
Jeff, hey, man, thanks for what you do for high school football. Thanks for having me, and go Cavs. Take care, man.
Hey, coaches, don't forget to go to highschoolfootballamerica.com right now to register, nominate your student athlete or athletes for the High School Football America 4th Annual Academic All-America Team. GPA 3.7 or higher, 96 on a scale of 100. If they qualify, we made it easy for you. All you got to do is just go to highschoolfootballamerica.com, click on Academic All-America in the navigation tab right at the top, and then a form will drop down for you. Click on that, and you will be able to nominate each and every one of your players. And we're just so pleased that the numbers are above and beyond what we've done so far. First 3 years, nearly 10,000 student athletes honored. This year already, we broke the single season record. We're well over 4,000 nominations so far, so make sure your players don't get left out. And different this year from the first 3 years. Parents, you can nominate your child. And student athletes, you can actually do a self-nomination. Same form. Difference is you will have to submit for the fall season, the fall sport of 2023, you will have to submit your transcripts to us. It's real easy. Just, again, 3.7 or higher or 96 or higher on the scale of 100. Do it today. And that's going to do it for the High School Football America podcast, brought to you by NFL Play Football. Coaches, don't forget to check out playfootball.nfl.com for some great resources to help you improve in the coaching profession. That's going to do it for today. I'm Jeff Fisher, and you've been listening to the High School Football America podcast.